everybody. This is Hector with
Jorge Guzman.
And we are Screaming Rebels Podcast, and this is the last show of the season, episode 23.
I don't know about the season. I
or
would say
the year.
The year.
I'm sorry. The year. So, we're going to talk about this damn Mayan thing that did not happen, and I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, I know. The reason why we haven't been putting a Screaming Rebels podcast out is because we just figured the end of the world was coming, and there was no reason to put any more out.
So we were preparing the spam. We had bottles of water, batteries, 12-gauge shotguns, shotgun shells, and for what? Nothing.
Actually, I just want to work. I figured that's the way I'm going to end my life.
It was kind of a phenomenon, though, because you'd go onto the Facebook or any of the social medias, and there's people taking pictures with AK-47s, saying in case the nut jobs do pop out, and people, as much as they didn't want to believe, they somehow believed it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I had a coworker that was talking about it, and I guess she was really freaked out. And so the next day, when nothing happened, she actually came to work and was excited. She was hugging everybody and overcome with joy, like telling them, like, "Hey, we didn't die, everybody. We didn't die."
I'm not gonna lie. I waited for a little bit, and I was like, "So when is this thing supposed to happen?" And I didn't hear anything or see anything. And I was like, "Well, this is bunk. I mean, nothing. Not even like I said, not even a damn solar flare or anything like that."
Yeah, I know, the solar flare. Is that what you wanted? You thought a firework was going to go up in the air?
Well, at least something. I mean, I don't know. I was expecting a little bit something bigger.
So, I'm not sure exactly what I expected, because I know that one of the things was all the planets were supposed to line up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking something might happen. I really wish that we had a telescope that was way out in space that you could take a picture of that, because I think that would look so awesome to have everything in a line at the same time.
Yeah, it would have been like one of those drawings that they already have, those ones with all the planets in a perfect line, like in Men in Black or something.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I was kind of thinking. Every time the kids were saying they would line up, and I would think, "Oh man, this is gonna be so cool." And after a while, I came to the realization, but we're not gonna see it. Like, I don't know what's so cool about it. Like, I can't see that these dumb planets are all lined up.
Yeah. So, what did you think about the whole? Did you? There was a state of frenzy. I mean, I guess there was, because they were showed it on the news and everything else, and some people were concerned. And I guess NASA had a number one. I guess they got the highest toll of phones ringing at NASA as well during that time of. I guess people wanted to be reassured that nothing was going to happen.
Oh man, that's intense. I didn't know about that. Them, with the phone not wanting anything to happen. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's we all kind of knew that that thing was really going to happen. But I mean, even my sister, she teaches at a high school, and she said that they caught a kid there with a gun, and when they, found out why, they asked him, "Hey, why are you carrying a gun to school? Like, what's the whole point?" I mean, we saw what just finished happening at Newtown. I mean, that was so sad. And the kid said, the end of the world is coming. I want to put them out of the misery before it comes. And he showed up to school, and he had like 50 rounds, So I don't know how many people he was thinking he was going to take out with him. And it's just like, man, like that's what kind of scares that we had. I don't think anybody really knew what happened in Newtown still. As far as I know, I didn't really want to follow it too much, just because the news media was going all crazy with that. I mean, it was on every single station, all the time, 24/7, and they were almost all about the same, like saying the same kind of thing, I mean, it was horrible, and it was really sad, and that's what I thought, like, maybe that guy he went crazy with thinking the end of the world is coming.
Yeah, what seemed interesting to me about this whole prophecy of the end of the world is the Mayans actually didn't say it was the end of the world. In fact, they stated that it was they really didn't state anything. I guess the way that the calendar works, and I guess NASA actually did a YouTube video, and I posted it up, and I found it kind of interesting, is the way that the Mayan calendar works is actually like a odometer, and it goes in a continuation, like, you know how you put mileage on a car, and the numbers keep spinning. Well, their calendar goes the same way, and I guess their 100,000 miles where they hit the double zeros was May 21st, 2012. So actually, it just correlated with the whole thing of it hitting back to zero. And I guess people, like, even anthropologists and everything, kind of saw it as an opportunity to say, you know, this might be possibly the end of the world scenario.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, and I can kind of see that, but, you know, it's funny that people just seemed like they were going to start to recognize this, because I remember Grant Morrison kind of wrote it into one of his comics called The Invisibles, and he wrote that one a few years back, you know, and it's a comic that's about a whole bunch of conspiracy theories, such as, like, AIDS is man-made, so there's actually a vaccine for it. That's just, like, you know, one of them.
I thought that was true, though.
Of the Mayan prophecy, you know, there was a whole bunch. And, but, like, I knew about it. Like, I knew that this was coming eventually, you know, a long, long time ago. And it just seemed like it just kind of woke people up. Kind of, I mean, and I don't know, I guess it sucks. In our generation, in our lifetime, we've already gone through a few prophecies at the end of the world. Yeah. We just had one, was it last year, with that guy from Oakland that predicted the end of the world?
Yeah.
And then...
oh, that's right. And he actually took a lot of money out of people who gave up their houses and everything else, and they lost money, and they lost basically, you know, all their life savings and everything to actually follow this person.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He did. And that wasn't even the first time he predicted it. I think that was like his third time. And before that, we had the Y2K. And, you know, at work, Hector was saying that his family, well, his father got, you know, all crazy for the Y2K, and he was getting crazy for this one too. Like, he was really getting scared. Like, he was stocking up on things. Like, he was ready to build a bomb shelter at the back of his house. But a lot of people don't remember the Y2K or why it came about, especially like the younger generation. They just hear this thing Y2K. Like, to them, it just happened real quick. For us, it was something that was a process that we had to go through, a realization that we're not as smart as we think we are. You know, and I had to explain it a lot of times, like, well, the big thing with, you know, Y2K is that the computers were only meant to last for the 20th century. They never thought about making them past the 21st century. So the coding in it, you know, only lasted that long. So they actually had to rewrite the coding, but they weren't sure what would happen to computers if they didn't rewrite it. Would it happen, like you just said, would it happen like an odometer, where it would just start all over and just continue on? But, like, beginning with the 1900s again? Or would the computer just completely mess up and go bonkers? Or, you know, and computers at that point were already starting to rule our lives. You know, they were like, this is what controls all of our major missile silos and
Skynet.
Our protection and our security.
We had Skynet.
And that was the scary part, right? That's where the end of the world was supposed to happen in Y2K.
Well, for people that don't know, I mean, there's people who are a little bit younger than us, but do you remember I'm going to give a specific date, March 26, 1997, Heaven's Gate religious group. Do you remember the magic Kool-Aid and the matching Converse?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, there's let me see if I can get the guy's name. But this guy had his believers believe that the end of the world was going to happen, Marshall Applewhite. And he convinced his followers to commit a mass suicide. This one took... How many people died? I don't remember exactly how many people... Oh, all 39 were dressed in identical black shirts and sweatpants with new black and white Nikes. My bad, they're not Converse, they were Nikes. And they basically, they made a large batch of this magic Kool-Aid. And by the magic Kool-Aid, I don't mean it had codeine and not like Little Wayne drinking scissor. But this one had probably rat poisoning or anything else. And they just all went to sleep and killed themselves, thinking that they were going to be led onto Halley's Comet, I believe.
Yeah, I think, you're right, because Halley's Comet was passing around that time.
Yeah, so it's not our first one. It's not our first roller coaster of the end of the world.
And there was a lot of, not just that, but there was a whole bunch of puns off of that. I don't know if you remember, Family Guy made a joke out of that, the whole cult thing.
Oh, there was a whole episode, yeah.
Yeah, Megan joins a cult, and everybody's like, hey, you know what, this is a cult. And she's like, no, it's not a cult. I fit in, I belong, they care about me. And then they have the Kool-Aid and stuff there, and they're all dressed in robes.
It's weird how people believe that. And there was another cult that was a Christian-based one that was in Africa. That he moved his whole people to Africa. I don't remember what. Is it Jonesboro Massacre?
Oh, man, I don't remember that one.
I think it was before our time. I just remember it because I like looking up weird stuff. Let me look Jonesboro, and I'll tell you right now.
that is definitely weird. Yeah, so it does happen quite often. I don't know why we thought that the Mayans would be right about this, especially since they're so mysterious anyway. Like, the Mayans just kind of disappeared out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. What happened to the Mayans? I mean, were they so obsessed with math that they kind of let the whole rest of the society kind of crumble?
Well, there's a few theories because they could tell from archaeological findings that they didn't like slowly die off, like an epidemic or something. Maybe like some kind of pestilence. They just disappeared. So one of the theories that people have is actually that they either were aliens or that they were taken by aliens. I mean, that's how you get the Indiana Jones. What was it? The fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
The Crystal Skull. That was where they go to the Mayans and the ruins and the pyramids, and you find out it's actually the pyramids are a huge spaceship. Sorry, that was a spoiler. I should have said spoiler under.
Spoiler alert! Everybody dies. And it's actually
Indiana Jones gets abducted by aliens.
Talking about Indiana Jones, I think it was kind of weird that I guess during the whole Mayan apocalypse of December 21st, they actually found a skull. I think it was in some part of Mexico, and it looked like an alien skull. And I guess some people were freaking out about it. And what actually it is, it's that I guess when the babies are born, they start forming the head to have that dome-like appearance.
Down in Mexico?
Yeah. And
it's funny because don't you remember in Egypt they used to do similar stuff
did the
like
same,
that. They used to
yeah.
They did that with the skull, and not only did they do that with the skull, they would do elongate the necks a lot of times.
Yeah. So maybe our Mexican ancestry come from Egypt.
You know what? I don't know. There's a lot of similarities, but it just happened at completely different times where it doesn't really make sense for the way they would be able to travel, back and forth like that.
Aliens.
Nefertiti is the most famous one that has that shape of the head.
Yeah.
And the neck and everything, and how she was supposed to have looked.
So.
But whether it was the end of the world or not, everybody knows, even if that wasn't it wasn't a sudden thing, we should know by now that we're slowly killing ourselves. Here as people anyways. One of the things that we're starting to do, and this is starting to hurt more too, and it's not the first time, but the first time I actually heard it was fracking. Fracking or fracking?
Fracking.
Fracking. And you actually told me what it was. I just told you, hey man, there's this thing, and you're like, yeah, that's actually common, and I had no idea. So whether we're gonna, some alien's gonna come or not, or eventually we're gonna kill ourselves. I wanted to talk about fracking because it seems like it's something happening more and more prevalent. I guess they want to start mining for oil big time though in California, because there are spots, and you're the one who pointed that out to me, and I completely forgot, like in Kalinga.
Yeah.
But they want to start doing it more, and do the fracking, and so that's where they can start doing it. But of course that leads to pollution and things, flying in the air and more toxins. In fact, they were doing fracking in a certain place. I'm trying to remember where. This was real recent. I'd have to look it up right now. And there was a big oil spill. The oil was flying 95 miles in the air from the pressure because they were about to get it where they could start, pumping it out. And then there was wind, so then the wind's pushing it all over the place. So then it ruined all the agricultural land that surrounds the area.
So what fracking is, I guess it's the breaking of the earth, and they drill. Hey, George, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm echoing on your part. I don't know if it's from the...
I'm echoing?
No, I was echoing. I'm still echoing. So I don't know where that's coming from.
Oh, are you pushing pause or not yet?
No, not yet. There, it's gone.
Alright, I might have my speakers up too loud. Let me grab my headphones real quick. You tell them what fracking is.
Alright, so fracking, what it is, it's a mining process for shale, which is a product of coal. And so what they actually do is they go about 500 feet under, or I think it's more than that, underneath the ground to go ahead and collect these deposits of shale to break down, and they basically break it down into oil. And with this kind of processing, you have to drill and pass the water levels as well. So that's where it comes in the endangerment of it contaminating the water. What it also creates is that you need hundreds and thousands of pressure PSI of water for these pneumatic drills to work. And so not only are you might contaminate the water, but you're using large volumes of water during this process. And so that has an issue where people are kind of concerned, because here we are where in the Central Valley where we kind of are in a drought area. And so now with this company coming in, they're going to want to borrow a couple more million gallons of water to do this fracking, and they want to do it off-site of Fresno, correct? I think he's still getting his stuff. And so with that issue comes with the pollution as well, and the whole potential of that polluted water actually going back to the sewer systems and not getting processed properly, because our processing plant probably wouldn't be prepared to go ahead and clean up that kind of polluted water.
Okay, I just came back. And I'm sorry, I didn't catch any of that, so I don't know if you want to repeat it. Now,
yeah, I can go ahead and repeat it. So fracking is basically oil drilling, but without the oil. It's actually a particle of oil called shale, which they collect and then they reprocess it to break it down into oil. And the problem with that is that they have to break down into the water level and go even further deeper. So there comes that concern again of polluting the water while the drilling process is happening. And not only that, but since they're pneumatic drills, they need pressurized water as well. So here we are in a droughted area such as the Central Valley, and now we're going to be getting probably millions of gallons of water that's just going to be used for this specific drilling of oil. And so what comes with that is what's left over from this water, if it spills into the sewage or treating facilities, our treating facilities going to be able to go ahead and break this stuff down for it to become drinkable water? Or is it actually going to pollute and ruin the water during the filtration process? There, I said it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it catch more and more news, and I guess it's because they're going to start doing it in a few different spots. And so you have a bunch of people that are protesting now. Of course, when it was in the Central Valley, people didn't really protest around here. But now it's starting to happen where they want to go like into Monterey County. And so they're going to start doing that. So, of course, it's Monterey County. I mean, the water sources that they're going to be taking from are like the Salinas River, the Sisquoc River, the Amargosa River, you know. And so all these, like you just said, it's going to take a whole bunch of water, and it's going to be doing it from there mainly. And, you know, fracking, keep on calling it fracking. When I first heard it, I thought it stood for something else. I thought it was like a party term or something. Yeah. And I was like, all right, these people are going to party it up in California. That's no news.
Were you concerned that Ustream might have bleeped you when you said that word as well?
Oh, well, I don't know about that one. I think it bleeped other words. It didn't bleep that one. But, yeah, you know, definitely. It does sound, and it sounds weird saying fracking.
Is it fracking or fracking?
You know what? I haven't figured out yet how to say that.
You know what? Let's see what it's. I think it's fracking. I might be wrong. Where's the dictionary?
What is a dictionary?
Well, you know how you type up the definition or the dictionary, and it'll show you how to pronounce it properly. It has an audio sample. I don't see one for fracking.
So anyways, it's spelled Fracking, just in case you want to look it up and get a little bit more info. It's something that's happening, especially, and it's not just in California, it's going to be happening everywhere. The thing about California is that they've always been very strict and stern about, environment. Like, that's one of the things that California's kind of known for, that they try to protest a lot. It was in the news a while back with the whole little fish. Remember, we couldn't use the water because it was going to harm the fish.
Well, now we can just pump it into those hydraulic drills and no problem, right?
Yeah, that's a little different now. Yeah, now you're talking about...
Yeah, you're talking about major Standard Oil corporations doing their business, and what's a little fish got to do? Corporations will kind of find their way of, going around that issue. So fracking, what it means, it's a hydraulic fracturing. So that's what fracking means. It's a short term. Like I said, it's breaking down the earth. They're basically a giant drill that's going into the earth's core, and there's a lot of cool words like mechanics, veins, and dikes. Well,
mechanics? Mechanics is a cool word?
Fracturing fluids. So it's fracturing the fluids, breaking the shale deposits, and so they can go ahead and process it into oil.
Yeah, so, and then right now in the government of California, they're trying to, because it's not monitored, there's actually no, so there's not, really any regulation against it.
Yeah.
So now that's what they're trying to do is draw up drafts, so this way they can start putting regulations in place. Because if they don't, people are just going to, it's just going to go all over. And, this can be dangerous, and it can't just keep on, going crazy, especially if people are money hungry.
So, on the water part, the consumption, the large volume of water retains to raise concern with hydraulic fracturing, such as they had issues in South Africa. I'm reading off of the wiki, by the way. Hydraulic fracturing can use about between 1.2 to 3.5 million gallons of water per year, per well. So there's that issue of, we're going to be using our water source as well for this corporations to get, and what, I guess it's not off the subject, but it seems kind of interesting that we're breaking down and trying to get this oil that we don't even use. I mean, in the end, we're still buying foreign oil. I guess it's more of this oil kind of goes into our conserved area in case something happens where we can't use that oil no more.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know about reserves, but you're right. They do some crazy things out there. You would think that they'd have this all under control. We just went to a different country, to go and fight and to get all these oil resources. That was the truth. That's what we know, why we invaded, different countries for this. And here we are still doing it to our own country. So, talk about the end of the world. I can see people why they go crazy and stuff for this. You want to just kill people off, mix a little oil inside their Kool-Aid and see what happens.
Yeah, I bet you it tastes tasty because cats like the taste of motor oil and antifreeze. I guess that's the number one mortality of cats stuck in a garage is they will actually drink the antifreeze or the oil.
You're lying.
No. That's why farmers use antifreeze and oils to poison animals that are around the area because I guess it has a sweet taste.
This is a little off topic, but I'm going to tell a good way of this is kind of funny. I'm going to tell a good way of how to kill a gopher. I just heard the other day, and I haven't tried doing it myself. But this pest control guy came into work the other day, and he was telling, I don't even know why he was telling us how to kill gophers. There's no gophers at our work. But he said, if you want to kill a gopher, a good way is get some dog poop and throw it inside the hole, and then you cover up the hole. And he says that when the dog poop starts to break down, it's going to release gases, and it actually kills the gophers.
See, I don't want PETA to get onto me about this, but we had gopher issues at my dad's property, and the way we used
so what did you do?
So we would make sure that there's no water lines where the holes were at, and so then we'd get M80s, the fireworks, and we would throw them in there and then put a brick and then stand on top of the brick. and it would concuss them, and they would be forced to come out because they would either be they'd be dead if they didn't come out, or they would have like, I guess, a shell shock syndrome and come out because, you know, they're already blind but now they're deaf from the explosion.
So I guess maybe the dog poop is a little bit safer and
humane, I guess.
Yeah, a little more humane. I mean, you're just fighting animals with animals.
Yeah.
So I know, but it just reminded me of doing the whole chemicals and gases.
Well, we can go back to the oils, because another way my dad used to get frustrated with the Gophers is he would actually try to carbon monoxide them out of that, and that's kind of breaking. You know, you're using gas to do that.
Yeah, well, I said the way my grandpa used to do it, but I mean, he was retired at this point. He was just old school. He would just sit next to the hole with a machete in his hand.
That's an effective way too.
And as soon as the gopher would pop its head out, he would just chop it off.
Yeah.
That always worked.
In other ways, you could put a grape on a fish hook and bait them out.
Really? Will they go after it?
Yeah, well, they'll go after anything that they're herbivores, so they'll go after anything that is plant-related food.
So have you ever tried fishing for gophers?
Yeah, once again, PETA might get on me on this one, but yes, I have.
And so, would they get stuck on the hook?
They get stuck on the hook, and then we would just kind of bop them on their heads and throw them in the garbage.
Well, at least it's better than a glue trap. And I guess it's better than the poison. Because, the poison, a lot of times, I'm imagining it's like rat poison.
Or getting blown up.
Well, that just causes, internal bleeding. And that's, like, where it's inhumane. Like, they just want you, if you're going to kill them fast.
Yeah. This one gets a piercing first, and then they get killed.
But that piercing is not that bad, because they do this, you still do the same thing to fish.
Yeah, that's true.
And really, if they were to take the hook and get the hook out of their mouth, they'd survive. They just have a new piercing.
Yeah. They would just have to drink from the opposite end of the mouth.
They'd probably put a little bling bling in there,
Put a
little fracking down in the holes.
Yeah. And if they're baller gophers, they'd put probably a 2 carat in there. So yeah, I'm kind of opposed to the whole oil drilling situation, just because, like you said, me and you used to go to West Hills in summertime in high school, and you kind of see what it kind of does to a city. I mean, Kalinga's pretty much of a dead city. I mean, and even with the oil, even when you bring something like that, it's not going to really bring that many jobs. I mean, there'll be a crew, but it's not going to bring, like, it might bring maybe 100 jobs and maybe 20 to each facility, but that's really about it. It's not really going to make a financial improvement in our economic system, especially with the unemployment or anything like that. And even those people, there's only a few amount of jobs that they can get, and I think it's only a one shift kind of thing. So it's more profiting the oil company than actually the state.
Okay, so talking about that, we've talked about the two things that we say we're going to talk about. So we actually stayed on topic this time, but I know I'm running a little short on time. I actually have to go to work in a little while. I'm working the night shift tonight, and I really also wanted to talk about. I guess. We can't talk about it too much, but I just wanted to say, Django Unchained has just been released. That was yesterday. I didn't have a chance to go see it. I really was going to go see it. But, I mean, I had family over, and I thought, man, that's really a dick move just to take off.
I was going to do the same dick move as you were, and I was really trying to escape the whole family thing and try to go watch Django yesterday.
Yeah, I was really close to doing it, and then I thought about it, and I go, what the hell am I thinking here? Like, just to go see a movie, which... I mean, it kind of makes sense, the way we are, but at the same time, it's like, I really should stop. I really should not do this. So I didn't go see it, but I just want everybody to know Django Unchained is out. And it's up for 5 Golden Globe nominations, even before it got released in theaters. So, because the Golden Globes are already coming up, and that also means that our podcast for the Academy Awards will be coming up very soon.
Yes.
And we'll be talking about our best picks. I have to say, personally, I think this was a really slow year for movies.
Did you see Abraham Lincoln yet? Or Lincoln?
No, so I still need to see the three movies that I still need to see that I want to see is Lincoln. I hear that it's a little slow paced, but I want to see because of Daniel Day-Lewis, who I absolutely love. Looper, I still need to see Looper, and then of course I need to see Django Unchained.
Yeah. So with Django Unchained, what do you think about Spike Lee doing his dick move and kind of announcing that he will not support Django Unchained because he thinks it's what do you call it? I guess distasting for his ancestry.
You know what? Almost everything is distasteful for his ancestry. You know, I don't think Quentin Tarantino is making a historical movie. I mean, look at what he did with Inglourious Basterds. It's not like he was trying to say this is history. I mean, how many people were probably outraged at what he did there? He's trying to make an entertaining, good movie. I don't think any of his movies have any really base of history except for maybe film history. Maybe he's doing something of film historians would appreciate, not somebody a real history.
It's a timepiece. It's not even a timepiece kind of movie because this movie, as you can see, and he even says it, it's kind of an homage to Sergio Leone movies. It's a spaghetti western.
Yeah, and we haven't had one of those in a while, and so I'm glad to kind of see it, because I've been going back and rewatching all those old samurai films, and I do like some westerns also, and that's why I want to go see it, because I just want to go see a nice, fun movie where they just go and shoot it out,
Yeah.
It kind of actually reminds me a little bit, but of course it's a different story of, it's a comic book. Brian Azzarello wrote one called, man, I'm trying to think of the name right now. All right, I'm going to try thinking about it.
So Django, I think, got a 90, or is it an 87 on Rotten Tomatoes? Let me see. And so that makes it automatically a certified fresh movie for people that don't follow from 89%. It's even better. He's got an 89%. I think the highest rated one was so far was it Skyfall with the 92%?
Yeah, I really didn't care for Skyfall. I thought it was an okay action movie. And then the more that the reviews came out and people started talking about it, and I started hearing more words, and I started thinking back and reflecting on it, the less I liked it. Have you had a chance to see it already, Hector?
No, I haven't seen it, and that was one of the movies I really wanted to go see, and I just never had the chance to go see it. That being said, Django Unchained's not going to be the one that I'm gonna have a missed opportunity simply because I have a quota to make with Quentin Tarantino. I don't know if you know this, or I don't know if you know this, but since I was 13 years old, I asked my dad to take me to go see Pulp Fiction in 1994. And since then, I've not missed a Quentin Tarantino movie on opening weekend. So it is my mission to watch this one by the weekend and not anytime or not anything further than the weekend. So I'm on a mission to watch it. I probably will watch it this Saturday.
I'm actually planning on seeing it tomorrow already. And I already have a day with some friends, Elizabeth, who you've met before, and her boyfriend, and I guess her boyfriend's sister will be there. So we're all going to go and go catch that tomorrow for sure. And I tell you, I still need to see Looper. I'm going to definitely see that before we even talk about movies again. And Lincoln as well.
Yeah, I think Lincoln, I'm going to try probably Sunday early morning because I know it's still showing in the theater over here. And like I said, the Hanford Theater is only like $5 in the morning, so I'm probably just gonna sneak out in the first show of the morning because that movie's 2.5 hours long. Django was 2:45.
Well, yeah, you think that's bad? I saw The Hobbit, and that thing felt like it was 4 hours long.
I heard it wasn't that good.
I really didn't care for it. I didn't like it. I read the book.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I thought that those were really well done. To me, this was a lot different. And I just think it's way too long. I mean, I thought that this was a complete movie. I completely forgot that he had broken it up. So then I thought, oh, maybe this is 2 movies. But then I found out it's actually 3 movies. So he takes a book that's probably about 300 pages and turns it into 3-hour movies. It
So
just
100
sounds like way
pages.
too much. I mean,
each 100 pages is 3 hours then. So that's a slow reader.
yeah, no. Actually the book is good. It's high octane. It's fast. Like a lot of things happen. That was the thing is in the movie that a lot of it was slower paced, and then he adds a lot of things that don't happen in there.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, I don't know if people know this, but the person who was actually supposed to take reins for this movie was Guillermo del Toro. He ended up not doing the movie. I think he still did the screenwrite of the movie, and he's still a participant of the movie. He just decided not to direct it and to go pursue other film opportunities, such as the new movie that he's bringing up is Pacific Rim. And I guess he's going to remake Frankenstein as well.
And Pacific Rim looks fantastic.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw the trailer for that
I saw the trailers already. It has a lot of the cast from. What's interesting is a lot of the cast from Sons of Anarchy is in it, which is a show that I watch. The main character is the main character from Sons of Anarchy, and it's Charlie Huffman, I believe is the guy's name, and he plays Jax in Sons of Anarchy, and he looks like he's taking the lead role for this for Pacific Rim.
Okay, and one of the voices, the reason why I even heard about Pacific Rim was Malika was telling me about it, and because there's a voice of a robot in there, and the voice of that robot comes out on a video game called Portal 2, and she's GLaDOS. So we were really excited that she got another, that she was able to do something else, and now she's going to the big screen with her voice.
Yeah, and I guess Ron Perlman's gonna. Well, he's always been with Guillermo del Toro. He's always been part of the Guillermo del Toro's movie franchise. And I guess Ron Perlman will actually be in this movie as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he has been, well, I mean, he's in the Hellboy.
And he's in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, I didn't know Ron Perlman was in there.
Yeah, he's the second Arms and Chiefs. He is the second lead role character in Sons of Anarchy. And when the show,
I can't pretend that I knew. It's not like I've never even watched Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I would recommend watching it. I mean, it's gotten a lot cheesier now. If you want to watch it like on Netflix, the first season is actually really good, and it kind of is an ode to Hamlet. So I think you would enjoy it.
That's right. You told me that.
Yeah.
I still haven't had a chance. I mean, I only watch one program at a time, and
it's on your list.
Yeah. So the one that I'm watching now is actually Breaking Bad.
I love Breaking Bad. It's one of my favorite shows.
So that's what I'm doing.
All right. So Django Unchained, I'm gonna say is gonna be worth to watch, even if we haven't seen it. Quentin Tarantino really doesn't leave a bad film yet. And that's an interesting thing for a filmmaker. And I guess what makes it interesting that he does this is that he can do this because he makes his own movies. He doesn't take film ideas from a company and then directs it. He produces his own films and his own stories and everything else, which is really unique in the Hollywood sense still.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, that was one of my favorite things that I got out of when I watched The Hobbit was I got to see the trailer for Pacific Rim, and seeing it on the big screen, it was, it was fantastic, to see like how it turned out and to see those huge robots. And I mean, I loved always seeing mech warriors and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's basically Mech Warriors meets Godzilla in a way.
No, it is, and that's what makes it so fantastic. So the name of GLaDOS is Alan McLean, and Del Toro is a big fan of the game.
Oh.
So that's where he got that. So it's funny because Del Toro actually picks up a lot of people that he's fans of a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like we just said, Ron Perlman. Like he's always liked Ron Perlman, and so he's used him in Blade, also when the one that Del Toro did, and because of the way he acts, he likes putting him in things,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, we developed that relationship. I mean, it's like Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson.
Ron Perlman is kind of a a person that a lot of people don't think about as a serious actor, but he's a great character actor. I mean, he brings Hellboy to life. I don't think nobody else would be able to bring that character to life, such as Ron Perlman. And I think he's a great actor, and I think a lot of people don't really see that. And he's also to blame because then he comes out in crappy movies like Season of the Witch.
Well, but then he did City of Lost Children.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It is. It's a great movie, and I didn't even know he spoke French.
Yeah, and it comes out in Kronos, which is one of Guillermo del Toro's first movies, and he speaks Spanish in that movie. So he's a very seasoned actor, and he's willing to he'll take opportunities at doing movies where it's not his native language. He's not scared.
Yeah, and that is very true. But as talking about not just movies, moving on, video games we're coming up to the end of the year. I know last year we did a video game podcast, and we were able to talk about the best stuff. Hopefully we get to do that too, coming in this next couple of months, and maybe in January, and we'll be able to talk more about that. Hector still has not bought a console. He's talking about it now for maybe the following year. So maybe next year he'll be able to play a little bit more games and participate a little bit more in that. Personally, I thought this was a really slow year. Even if you read all the, Game Informer, Spike TV does all theirs. They do this huge video game award ceremony. And I think they picked I'm trying to remember. I think it was The Walking Dead. To me,
yeah.
I mean that's great because that shows that the downloadable games are getting more notice, and that they're becoming, people recognizing that these are games they want to play. But at the same time, it's like a game like that where that beats out all these other games that take years sometimes to develop, or X amount of dollars and all these workers. It just shows that those people maybe aren't cutting it anymore. You buy a $60 game and it's not holding up to the way you thought it was. I was kind of really sad about that, because I really thought that showed that maybe it was a really slow year for video games as well. Because, for Movie of the Year, I have no idea what's going to be Movie of the Year this year.
Yeah.
There's nothing that really struck out in my mind. I could see them trying to put, Avengers or something.
Yeah, and we still haven't, like we said, we still haven't seen Lincoln, and we still haven't seen Django. And those might be one of the top ones as well, because Quentin Tarantino slowly, I think he knows that he wants an Academy Award eventually for Best Director, and I think slowly he's trying, but at the same time he's trying to stay in his own comfort zone and let people like his genre instead of forming and trying to get into the comfort zone where he knows that if he played it safe, I guess that's a word, if he played it safe, he would get an Academy Award.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that this isn't not anything like The Man with the Iron Fist that we just still had bad memories of.
I think this is a redemption movie. I think this is an apology of, I'm so sorry that I let RZA behind the camera.
Yeah. That's all the way. Video games, I got to play a few that came out this year. I was really excited, but also Wired Magazine, the last one that I just got, there's a game that's been talking about for a long time. And you even know about this one, Hector. And so I'm really glad it's going to be coming out now officially in February, is BioShock.
Oh, yeah. The new one where they're in the sky.
Yes. And, I didn't know this until I read the article, but BioShock 2 was not done by the same company. The guy actually said the creator is almost like this mad genius. And so, he does this first game, everybody loves it. And so the company tells him, okay, we need a sequel. And he goes, all right, but I don't want to do a sequel like everybody else does. Sequels are just basically 10 new levels, maybe 1 or 2 new bosses, and 4 more new guns. And everything else is the same.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't want to do that. If I'm doing a sequel, I'm going to reinvent the whole world. This is going to be something completely different. And so that's what he did, in this BioShock Infinite that's going to be coming out. Like you just said, it's in the sky. It takes place. Everything about it is just about different. There's nothing... He's not keeping anything the same from before.
I think it's something about some girl gets abducted, right? And the guy follows her and tries to lead her back.
So this girl, they've been doing a very good job, even though this game has been developing for 5 years now, of keeping a tight lid on it. but there's this girl, and she has a power where she can rip through space-time. You know, so she can actually, you know, go like back and forth, like travel, like the time traveler. So of course you can see where people would want like her kind of a power. So you're actually protecting her, and yeah, you're going to be probably guiding her back. You're going to be trying to keep her away from all these people that would want to abuse her and you know, use her powers to their own will. So that's going to be, you know, very exciting, and that's what you know. I think that they said that this is probably the most highly anticipated game almost in history, because everybody was waiting for it for a long time, because it was supposed to come out last year in 2011, and then they pushed it to 2012, and now it's actually going to make it to 2013. And there was times, I guess they said, when they were developing the story, that they would write stuff down, and the creator, Levine, would just scrap it, like a whole section. They would have a whole section of a game, and he'd say, you know what, this isn't working, just throw it away, and they would just toss it out and start all new again.
And that's kind of a good thing, though, because it's going to bring a whole different level of gameplay to this game, like you said. With that, that's one of the games that I'm thinking about getting a console. But the other one that I was kind of interested is the Tomb Raider game, the new one, where it's not the same kind of Lara Croft story, but it's more of a survival, kind of like a Far Cry. But what's the difference of the Far Cry is that and this one is that you're actually going to be able to explore a lot more of the whole world that she's around with. I guess in Far Cry you can't really expand out of that world except where you're supposed to be going at all times.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know they're going to reinvent the whole aspect of how Tomb Raider is going to be. I'm not too excited for that. Of course, I'm a huge Dead Space fan, so I am excited for that. That's also coming out in February. And I really want to play that one, Dead Space 3, and that's going to have a co-op this time. So I'm excited to try the co-op and see how that they apply that. Not only that, but they reinvented the whole gun system in Dead Space, so this is going to be really interesting. But the whole time that you're playing Dead Space, you're actually playing, the main character is an engineer. So they said that they said he's an engineer, why don't we actually have him engineer things? And in the second one, they did have him do a few things, but now in this third one, you can actually modify the guns completely. Like, it's almost an endless array of guns that you can modify. Because if you want a gun and you want to put a flamethrower on it, you can do it. You just have to find the mods within the game, and you can just change the guns in and out and add all these different adjustments and stuff on it. So it looks really cool. I've seen trailers of the gun and aspect, and I think that's going to be the biggest selling point for that.
Yeah, I mean, those are the games that I'm kind of into, so yeah, definitely looking forward to that for the new year, and we'll probably have a special guest for the next time we talk about video games. Hopefully I don't offend him of my unknowledgeable things of video games, but like I said, like last time I talked, I thought Minecraft was kind of a war game until somebody told me that it's actually a builder game. And I guess we're going to conclude this one. This is our little short one. We'd like to thank everybody for supporting us, and happy 2013. And we will be back, and we're going to continue doing our 2 episodes per month. George, do you have anything to say to these wonderful people?
Just happy holidays. Be safe out there. Don't be around these crazy people. If you feel you need to stay home, stay home. I'm going to be spending it with the family. We avoided one prophecy. We don't need people going crazy and trying to start a second one.
Yeah, and so until the next prophecy, we'll keep you in touch if there's a new prophecy, and we'll keep you informed on the new prophecy if it does come.
All right, that's Speedy Rebels signing out.
Peace.